Hey everybody, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore, and we're here with a special video. It's not a daily progress video for our beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge. This is our monthly weigh-in. We'll check that out in just a minute here on Big Anklevich on health. So a few weeks ago, I was complaining on my weekly video about how weighing myself kept sapping me of my enthusiasm for this stuff. I would weigh myself and I would come down a little bit and I'd get all excited, and then the next time I'd weigh myself, I'd be back up. And then I would be like, this is all for nothing. Here I am doing all this stuff and it's not doing me any good. And I would get all upset. And Marshall commented on that episode and he said, hey, I don't even let myself weigh myself except for once a week. It's probably not a good idea to be weighing yourself all the time. And I knew that was true. And I knew it could sap you of your enthusiasm and everything, but I still did it because I couldn't help it. I wanted to. And so after Marshall said that, I said, you know what? You, sir, are right. And I am going to make a change. I am not going to allow myself to weigh in except for once. I'm not even going to go once a week. I'm going to go once a month. And so I decided we were going to do it. I was going to do it only on the first of each month. And I mentioned that to Marshall and he said, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then I asked him if he wanted to join me and we could make a little video out of it. And he said, yeah, I guess so. And so we did. And so Marshall did his weigh-in today. And let's head over there and see what he has to say about it.
Hey, it's the first weigh-in day. It's weigh-in day today. And it's pretty exciting. I'm going to start keeping track of this monthly, as big as I already explained to you. But yeah, so this morning I weighed in at 418.4 pounds. And that's quite a bit of weight. But it's significantly less than it was a few months back. When I started back in March 21st is when I started this latest weight loss journey here. I weighed 451.5 pounds essentially. And that's the most I've ever weighed, at least as keeping track. That's quite a lot of weight. It's almost 500 pounds. I would never think in my life that I would weigh 500 pounds, and I was getting close to it. And it's hard for me to admit that, but hey, I'm trying to be as candid as I can here in this weight loss journey so that I can use it as inspiration. And maybe I can help somebody else. Maybe somebody else that weighs close to 500 pounds or over 400 pounds can get some inspiration and say, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And I'm trying. I'm doing my best here. So anyway, so since I started this, that's 33 pounds essentially that I've lost. And so that makes me feel pretty good, but I have a long road to go and I can't let my guard down. I got to keep going with this. So just to keep it, a week ago, or almost a week ago, I weighed myself, and in that week, or less than a week time, so on 7/27, I weighed 422 pounds, and so I've lost about 3.8 pounds in the last 5 days, because I was weighing myself every Wednesday, which was the week of our beef, butter, bacon, and egg challenge. But Big and I have decided to do this at the first of every month, so there's the gauge there. But anyway, so I guess another stat for you is, since I started this back in March, end of March, I have lost, my weight loss percentage, so I've lost about 7.32% of my highest weight. Which was pretty good. I don't think you can call this a non-scale victory because it involves a scale. But when I started, I have a home scale that is supposed to go up to 440 pounds. But when you get up close to 444 pounds or 440 pounds, it doesn't register very well. It gets some really wonky readings, but anything over 440 for sure, it just has an error message. And so I had to go to the doctor's office and use their scale to get a good reading of how much I weighed. And so that's where I got the 451.5 pounds. And you know, that's pretty crazy that I'd have to go to a doctor's office and I couldn't just get on a home scale and do that. I mean, that's needing medical attention. I am in dire straits, health concern. Luckily, I guess I have good genes. You know, I don't have. I'm not pre-diabetic, which is amazing to me. So that's a plus. And you know, a lot of my blood pressure and my other markers stuff are pretty good. And the doctors are usually surprised after looking at me that my health isn't worse than it is. But you know, I can't run that forever. My weight is affecting my body. It's affecting my ability to do things. And so, and just, you know, in general, I can't keep putting all this pressure on my body, and my quality of life is worse because of my weight. I just got back from vacation and we went on a pretty arduous hike. I thought it was pretty arduous, but you know, I'm a big fat guy. But I was able to do it better than I thought, longer than I thought I would. And I made it pretty far. A lot of steep uphill and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I could have done that in my sleep years ago. And I would have had a good time. But, you know, I was struggling. I had to stop a lot. I had to rest my body so I could keep going. And I was very slow. And that's fine because I'm going to do what I can. And if I have to stop and rest, I'm going to. But it's just, you know, I could just crawl up that hill pretty easily when I was younger. And of course, part of that comes with getting old. But it's also because I'm so dang heavy that it affects the quality of my life. And I'm tired of it. And so that's why I'm going to stick to it this time. And I'm going to get down and lose weight. So I'm hoping, by the beginning of September, that I will be under 400 pounds. Now that says I have to lose 18.4 pounds or more in order to do that. But at the rate I've been going, I'll put up the chart here, or Big will put up the chart that I'm going to send him. This is again kind of where I've come from and where I'm at on my weight loss journey. But maybe if I keep up, maybe I can get below 400 in a month. I would really like to do that. But, you know, at some point, I'm losing weight now, but I'm going to hit a plateau at some point. And I'm going to, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's my goal. I hope to be under 400 pounds by the time we do another weight loss video. And looking forward to that. Oh, real quick, I forgot to include how much I've lost in the month of July. Big and I talked about doing that. So I didn't have like a July 1st reading because we didn't know we were going to do that at that point. But I did have like a reading from the middle of June and about the middle of July. So I just took the average in between those two numbers to get, that number is 433.5 pounds, essentially, is what I weighed at the beginning of July, the 1st of July, which means that in July I lost about 15.1 pounds, which is pretty good, pretty exciting. So that leads me to believe that possibly, because I didn't start this until I didn't start the BBBE until the 7th of July. And so now that I'm starting on the 1st of August and I'm in the middle and on track with the BBBE, I'm thinking I can lose that last 18 or so pounds and be under 400 by the end of this month. So we'll find out in the next weigh-in in September and see if I can pull that off.
All right, so there you go. It looks like Marshall's doing awesome, if you ask me. He's lost a lot of weight, and he's feeling good, and he's optimistic that maybe he might make it to under 400 pounds by the next weigh-in day, 1 month from now. And I think it's possible. If he doesn't hit it then, he'll probably hit it sometime soon right after. And boy, that would be really cool to be able to get to that. I'm a really long ways from going under a century mark. So it'll be a while. But the good thing for me is that when I go under the century mark, I'm almost done. I will have made it to Wonderland. And that's exciting. Now, I did my weigh-in today too, so I went and I got on the scale, and this is what it showed me. Yes, that's right, you can barely see anything because my stupid scale has some kind of weird stealth coating, or I don't know what the heck it is. Tony Stark invented something so that only the person standing on the scale, and not even a camera in that person's hand, can see what the weight is. I guess, he knows how much people are uncomfortable about sharing their weight. And so, yes, he put the stealth coating on my scale. I didn't know that. I didn't want a scale with stealth coating on it. I would have thought that a scale that lights up and stuff like that would have been really easy for a camera to see. But no, there's some weird aspect to it that makes it so you can't see it. So that is the picture of what I weighed in as, and I took the liberty of adding in the numbers so that you can actually see them. So this is what I weighed in at. That's right, it's 269.0. That is exciting for me because I went under a decade mark. I've been stuck in the 70s for a really long time. Nobody wants to be in the 70s. That was a really bad time. It was a lot of inflation, and there was disco and just bad fashion, all that stuff. Nobody wants to be in the 70s, especially not me, least of all me. I was born in the 70s, and I was glad, even though I was only 6 years old when they ended, to get out of the 70s. But yeah. Here I am at 269.0. Now, it just so happens that one of the times that I weighed myself recently and wrote down the number was the 1st of July. It was a fortuitous coincidence, I guess. I don't know why I happened to weigh myself that day. But on that day, I weighed 275.6. And I was, just kind of listlessly, I was going to do a beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, but I didn't quite do it. Instead, I was cheating all the time on it, challenge. So I was going nowhere. But then Marshall got me started on a real true beef, butter, bacon, and eggs thing, and I started to lose weight. And so in this month, I've lost 6.6 pounds, which is pretty darn good. And I'm pretty excited about it. When you see your weight each day and it goes down 0.5 pounds, or it goes back up 1.3 pounds, whatever tiny little increment that you get from day to day, it's just hard to get excited about something like that. But if you make yourself wait until a full week, if you make yourself wait until a full month, then the number's bound to be bigger than what you're used to, and it's bound to get you more excited. So I saw this weight, and I got just super pumped up, super jazzed. I am in the 60s now. 60s was a good time. Great rock and roll, none of that disco crap, that was good times. So there I am in the 60s, and I am so excited. And Marshall said that he lost 7.3 something percent, of his weight. And I'm pretty much right there with him. I'm at 7.43, and it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. So we're right there with each other, which is interesting. He's lost way more weight than I have, but we have a different starting point and ending point to go from. So, we're doing both pretty much even. And it's pretty exciting, pretty cool that we're right there and sticking with each other. And the beef butter and the bacon and the eggs are really making it happen. And another interesting thing too is that I decided I would do my blood sugar on the 1st as well. And I don't know how exciting or interesting it is, but here's my number. I got a 96 this morning. Pretty standard, pretty normal, nothing special. And I'm willing to bet that if I went to the doctor and I got an A1C, that it would come out as not a diabetic reading. It would be under 5.7, if I remember right. That's the edge of diabetes, and I would be under that. I'm almost willing to guarantee that. And that's another great thing about carnivore, diabetes is not a problem if you eat carnivore. I'm not even worried about it. Like you can see, I'm only going to check my blood sugar once a month, which, if you were a diabetic that had issues, you wouldn't want to do that. You got to be keeping better tabs on it. But yeah, I don't have issues. It's basically gone. As long as I keep eating like this, I'll never have issues. I can forget that I ever had diabetes because if I eat like this, it's not a problem. I could mention that my weight has actually even come down a little bit more if you count from only when we started the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge, because I weighed myself on July 8th, which was the day after we started, and I weighed 278 because I had been doing that just not trying hard thing. I was barely doing anything, and I was, wavering up and down, and my weight was going up one week and down another, and I was at 278 on the 8th of July, and I came down from 278 all the way to 269. So really, you could say I lost 9 pounds in the 3 weeks that we've been doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So that's really cool too. Now, in the end, I want to make sure I get this across in case you're wondering. Weight is not the thing that matters most. Weight is not important. Weight is just how much gravity pulls down on the mass that you have. And weight changes depending on the composition of your body. If you have more muscle and less fat, you could still weigh the same as you did when you had more fat and less muscle. So it's not necessarily a measure of how well you're doing. So I don't want anybody to think that that's what I'm basing my idea of success on or not. Because I've been doing this since March, and I've had, so-so success as far as weight loss goes. But there are other things that, you can judge your success by. You can judge yourself by measurements. Like one thing that I have noticed as I've been doing this, when we started in March, I had to put my belt on the last hole. I buckled it through the very last hole on my belt to hold my pants up. And after a little while, it was on the second hole, then the third hole, and then the fourth hole. And I regularly keep it on the fourth hole, although yesterday, just to see, I tightened it up to the fifth hole, and it tightened up and stayed there, and it wasn't super uncomfortable. I was able to wear it that way, so I think I'm getting close to where I'm going to need to switch over to the fifth hole as well. And, that's wonderful. That's one of the great things about carnivore, is that your body doesn't just lose weight, but it's getting the actual nutrients and building blocks that it needs to make a healthy body. It's not just dropping size. You know, it's not just dropping fat along with muscle and leaving you a lesser, weaker person. Your body's getting the fuel that it needs to create a healthy body. And it will do that. It will give you muscle in place of fat. And I think that my body's been doing its share of that. And, you know, I can't complain about that. I'm happy to have more health, because that is what this is all about. Because this is Big Anklovich on health, not on weight loss or, you know, lower number on the scale, anything like that. So that'll be the end of my spiel. I'm pretty excited about how things are going, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be like next month, when we've had a whole month of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs behind us, and we can see what a month's worth can do for us. We'll see if Marshall can make it to 400 or less. That would be so cool. And we'll see where I wind up. Maybe I can make it down into the 50s. You know, that was a good decade too, right? You know, going cruising, and those sweet old school Studebakers and Bel Airs, and listening to Buddy Holly. Good times. So we'll see if I can get down to that. And yeah, it'll be great. So we're looking forward to that. And in the meantime, we'll have our daily videos every day that you can see how we're doing and see what's going on. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Big Anklovich on Health.